Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and this is the Road to the Record, where I work to achieve mastery of 10 games in a hunt for the best score of the Decathlon. Like what you see, remember to hit that like button. You want to see more? Hit subscribe. Let the games begin. This is Motorsport Manager, and it's episode number 63. Bad timing on that exit by Perez. That really checked me up quite a bit there. Alright, we are halfway through the race, and this is actually going to be our lap to push, so let's attack both of these guys. Uh-oh, Herta has fallen off the cliff. They're both about to fall off the cliff. That's not good. It's happened quite quickly. They'll have 11 laps left to go in this race. The final race of the season. So Verstappen getting ready to come in. Herta, we are going to double stack here. They are far enough apart. About 4.5 seconds for that to work and not be a problem, unless there's a mistake on the pit stop. But as we are not pushing it, that shouldn't be an issue. Got a little bit of fuel saved up, and this track is pretty good on the heating as well as the fuel burn. We are in Abu Dhabi at the Doha race. And both cars getting ready to come in this time. From P13 and P17, Max coming in first. Let's check in with him now as he's on pit road. And that's a good stop. He's out of the way just in time. And Herta's got a quick stop as well. 1.738 and 1.721. By the way, pit ranking, we're right on top for that. So we are very, very fast. But here's the thing. You look at where we're at right now, and it's not looking so good on that part as we are well back. Most of the cars are going to be on a one-stopper, but Margasov, Perez, Nordstrom, Norris are all well ahead of us. Newgarden, Leclerc, Van Dorn have already pit and are well ahead of us. So this race has not gone very well for us up until this point. We are very much off the pace. When I turn the engine down, we instantly start falling back and losing positions. We just can't keep it up the whole race. A couple reasons for that. One, we still don't have a strong car, so that's just a thing. And I tend to do better in wet races because tactically I can take advantage by timing. Pitting at the right time, correct tire choices, etc. And we're in the desert. We're in the Middle East. It's dry. So that's not a thing today. Let's go neutral before we overheat. Neutral does bring the temperatures down. Okay, so 10 laps to go. 17th, 18th right now. That's part of it. But the other part is for one of the first times all season. I think it was only maybe the second time it's happened this season. In practice, for one thing, it took a while to find the setup. Max is on 100%, by the way. We got 98% for Colton. And for that, it took a bit longer to find than normal. So extra pit stops. That slowed me down a little. Normally, I have 4, 5, or 6 minutes to spare when I have all of the bonuses that I want for the race complete. That didn't happen this time. And it put both cars on qualifying and both cars on the qualifying tires first. I should have used ERS that time. Dang it, that was a mistake. I can use a little bit here in just a moment after that turn that Max just went through. There we go. It's a decent stretch to use some. There we go. Now both cars in the 80s, so I'll have to watch that next time. Anyway, normally I have 4 to 6 minutes to spare. I ran out of time, and I was still working on the medium tires, which is what we're on, and on the race trim setup. And I ended up 10% away from the level 3 bonus on both of them when practice ended. So highly disappointing on that, because I didn't waste any time anywhere. Didn't expect it, didn't see it coming at all, and ran out of time. So my mistake, because I absolutely would have sacrificed qualifying trim for the sake of the race trim. So we're normally on a 30% bonus combination if we're on those tires, which we have been the whole race. We started on mediums, and after our one stop, we are on mediums till the end of the race. So the bonus is on the mediums. I should have had 15 on that, 15 on the race trim, 30% bonus. I ended up with 20. So I'm down 10% on the bonus, and that's certainly slowing me down some here in the race, not having that full bonus. And then because of the dry conditions, there's no special circumstances that are going to set me apart. And you look at everyone right now, no one's going to stop twice. No one. It's not happening. So we currently run in P15 and P16. We have Mick Schumacher, who had a major problem and had a long pit stop and came out way behind everyone. We have a Williams, a Haas, and one Toro Rosso behind us. Now here's what we're racing for this time. We are currently in 8th place in the Constructors, so P8. We are well clear of Renault and Haas, the next two teams. So Buchanan looks to maybe pick up points today, but even if he does get a point or two, that is no threat to us whatsoever. What we have is a situation where we are in contention for 7th place. And here comes a bunch of cars stopping. Where will we come out? We are now in P13 and P14 with a bunch of cars sliding backwards. George Russell to last place in the Russell. In the Renault, Nakashita is still ahead of us but has not pit and will pit soon. So that's one more position we'll get that's still shy of points. What we are racing for is that potential of 7th place. Now we are 3 points, exactly 3 points behind Toro Rosso. So Toro Rosso is who we are really racing today. So there's only 4 cars to pay attention to. The 2 Toro Rossos and of course our 2 cars. We're going to need those 3 points, probably plus one more. So we're going to need about 4 points. Plus we need Toro Rosso to not score or to be that many points ahead of them. So the big thing is, where is Toro Rosso? You might have already picked that out yourself if you know the colors. Siemsel made a mistake on the first lap, the opening lap, and dropped back to 20th. Has not recovered very well, is still in 16th, a few seconds behind Herta. But here's the problem. Giovinazzi, and the other, is currently in 10th place. So at the moment, live standings, Toro Rosso is plus 4 points with just 4 laps to go, and it looks like only one car is going to pit the rest of the way, and that being Nakashita in the Renault. So yes, I've got one more position coming, but that's still only P12, P13. That is outside of the points, and we are not outracing anyone at this point in time. And there you go, Nakashita is in. So we have inherited that one place, 12th and 13th now, but we are still 8 seconds behind Giovinazzi, and even if we overtake him, that's only 1 point. So we would still, live standing wise, at that point, we would be -2. Let's go ahead and start pushing here. I do need to watch the fuel. It is draining quite slowly, but we are approaching level on that and will not be able to push for long. So in fact, I think I kind of want to back off a little now, save up just a little bit more fuel so we can push near the end. Car condition is totally fine for Max. Colton, yeah, they're both good. This saves up fuel quite quickly here. There's a huge gap in front of Max, though. Buchanan is closing up a little bit, 1 second behind Herta. He is on softs, but I'm not too worried about him. What I am worried about, though, is that Ocon is on pretty fresh softs in Force India. That's a bit faster than us. Giovinazzi, though, his tires are quite worn, so he could fall off the cliff before the end of the race. Margasov is pretty worn. Newgarden, Leclerc, but they're too far ahead. Even if they end up pitting again, they're still looking at a top 3 or 4 position, depending on whether they come out ahead of or behind Lando Norris. Speaking of, Newgarden is into the pits for a fresh set of mediums. He doesn't even have any softs left to put on. Okay, let's go ahead and turn this back up. Let's turn this back down. Turn this back up to make up for it. And here we go again. Go again. There you go. There you go. P12, P13. Gap is down to about 0.6 of a second to Buchanan with Herta. At this point, it's looking like it's not going to happen on the overtake of Toro Rosso in the standings. So most likely, with just a couple laps to go here, we are going to finish in 8th place in our first season in Formula 1, which is not bad. Not bad at all. The car is much improved from what it was. It's a lot more competitive than what it was at the beginning of the season. And I look forward to next season when we can get competitive sooner. Meanwhile, Herta has been passed by Buchanan. Seriously? Seriously, dude? Come on now. Yeah, the way these tires are, I don't want to... Okay, turn that back up. Go ahead and turn that back up. Max, use up some of that ERS here. We'll use up some more again. To the finish line. And that back up. And that's going away a little bit quick there. Bring that down a little bit. And yeah, no change from here. I don't see... Giovinazzi drops to 11th. So there you go. He does fall off the cliff. Ocon has gotten around him. Max, though, is still 3 seconds back, so I don't think Max is going to be able to pass him. Attack. Attack. Okay, we're going a little early because he's got a lot of ERS left. And nothing happening there. So P12, P14, respectable finish, but no points involved. Giovinazzi does lose out on the points after Ocon got around him. But with neither team scoring any points, that leaves Toro Rosso ahead of us. It is Charles Leclerc, even with the dodgy neck, to win the race here for Ferrari, who has not won in a while. So good result for the prancing horse or pony. And that comes the end of the season. Stoffel Van Dorn takes second for McLaren. Great result there. Newgarden, the American, in the other Ferrari, gets third. So a podium without a Mercedes or a Red Bull. Haven't seen that one in a while. Lando Norris does finish in 4th place. Newgarden would have won the race if he didn't pit with 2 laps to go. And Nordstrom in the Force India takes 5th. Good result for them. Red Bull down in 6th and 9th. And then, of course, the other Mercedes, Mick Schumacher, had that big problem with the lengthy pit stop on lap 11 and lost a ton of time. Recovered a handful of positions. And Siemsel ended up with another pit stop at the end, trying to go too long on the softs, and ended up back down to P20 again. The two Brits ahead of him. Oh my goodness. Charles Leclerc demoted 6 places after 2 parts were found to have broken the GMA rules. No wonder he got caught. Charles Leclerc won the race and gets demoted to 7th after breaking the rules. Ouch. Ferrari just got a hard slap in the face, especially when Newgarden led comfortably for so much of that race and ends up, after being one of the only cars to stop twice, he and Siemsel, the only cars to stop twice in the race. Siemsel finishes all the way at 20th. Newgarden, it costs him the race win by 1.1 seconds. And Stoffel Van Dorn in the McLaren ends up winning the final race of the season. That is dramatic. No figure eights with Alonso. But wow. Wow. Okay. Norris bumps up to 3rd to get on the podium, so Mercedes or Red Bull, one of them did end up on the podium after all, and it changes nothing at the bottom as Ocon, fortunately for us, stole that point away from Toro Rosso, but it didn't matter as we scored no points ourselves. Max, who started 11th, and just lost a ton of time when we turned the engine down for 2-3 laps. That's all it was. Otherwise, we were on the attack mode that whole time, and he lost 4 or 5 positions just in a few laps. Otherwise, you take 4 positions, and that's 8th. And 5 seconds, that's absolutely, that was about what he lost. So 8th place would have been 4 points, and Giovinazzi would have been in 12th, so that would have been enough. So I think, honestly, I am to blame for not taking 3 seconds of practice time at the very, very start and getting the race trim done first, and then switching to the qualifying trim. I've made it quite clear that I care more about the race than I do about the qualifying. Unlike actual Formula One, where passing is very difficult. Passing's not the easiest thing to do on here, but it is definitely not like real life. And it's definitely not Monaco, where, qualifying is everything. So, that 5 seconds, that difference between 7th and 8th, is that 10% race trim and medium tire bonus that I lost by only getting level 2. So that is, I take full blame for that. Mick Schumacher also had a 10-second penalty, so that was his lengthy pit stop was after contact. Okay, so he had a 10-second penalty. No wonder he had a lengthy pit stop. Max does hang on to a top 5 position in the Drivers' Championship. Lando Norris by 6 points. And in the final race, overtakes Margusov for the Drivers' Championship. So a Mercedes driver on top. And after a disastrous race, Mick Schumacher, no impact, he had nowhere to go, finishes third. He did not start the season with Mercedes, though, as he was in a Ferrari. Perez finishes fourth in the championship, so Mercedes will clearly have the constructors over Red Bull, top two. Max was next best, but he was with Red Bull for most of the season, or a little over half. Charles Leclerc, best of the rest, and for Ferrari, well, technically Verstappen was, but most of his points came again with Red Bull. Joseph Newgarden finishes 7th. Merlion for McLaren. Van Dorn down in 10th with Carlos Sainz sandwiched between them. And then we see the big drop-off. Harrell for Williams only gets just over half of the points that Carlos Sainz Jr. got. Esteban Ocon and his teammate Bo Nordstrom are level on 55 points. Nordstrom gets back above Colton Herta in the final race after Herta had that big scoring in that last race, the penultimate race, drops to 14th. So final position with the driver that I had all season, Colton Herta, 48 points. That was the bulk of our points, but Verstappen brought in a pretty good haul after joining the team. I think he was somewhere right around 100. We'll see what that final total was. Well, 80. So 32 points, 32 points for Max Verstappen since joining our team. So he had 102 before that. So he got 32 in less than half a season, while Herta got 48 in an entire season. So our better score was definitely Max Verstappen after joining the team. I also saw that little bit of dip in performance when I went from a one-car team, essentially, as Herta had all of the good parts, to balancing those parts between two cars. That did set me back a little bit when I had to even things out, as opposed to getting all of the best parts on one car. Russell, Giovinazzi, Buchanan in the Haas did pretty well. Bessis, who only had one race for Mercedes, took third in that race. Matsushita, and that was right after all the craziness after I took Max Verstappen. Nick DeVries for us, now with Racing Engineering, scored just 1 point before. So actually it was 31 points that were scored by Max Verstappen because Nick DeVries did have 1 point before leaving the team. CM sold just 13 points on the season, so really struggled there, and only above Nakashita with 8. Matsushita in 19th with 14. And there you go. Final standings after 19 out of 19 rounds. Haas with 32 points is going to be relegated. Renault is hanging on to the back end. We finished well above them in the end, which was pretty awesome. Most of those points came from just 2 races, though. Toro Rosso does finish 3 points ahead of us. So my target next season will not even be Toro Rosso. I'm going to look higher, probably around Force India. For next season, maybe around Williams. Would be my target to definitely be midfield. We should be scoring a bit more often in the future, but definitely still not every race. We still have the 9th best car. So Williams 5th, McLaren 4th, Ferrari 1 point shy of 300, and Red Bull a little over 400 with the Mercedes. Final tally of 489 to win the Constructors' Championship and the Drivers' Championship. All right, so I still have 20 minutes left in my time for this episode, and what I plan to do is start getting into the off-season stuff. There's one very, very big thing that I expect to have an email on here momentarily. Oh look, it's the laughing stock of the world. I'm glad his picture's not on there anymore. I turned off a certain mod a while back, and it got rid of that. That was not my doing, believe me. So Herta, I don't know why his morale keeps dropping, like it did there. It's done that a couple times, multiple times. I don't understand what your problem is. Like, what was wrong with finishing in 14th with the 9th best car? That's, like I said, that's the second time in 3 races, or maybe 4 races, that out of nowhere he's had a massive drop in morale and mechanic relationship for no apparent reason. So Stoffel Van Dorn with the win. And Valdez wins the F2 race ahead of Angelica Arendt. And it is Valdez who is going to claim the Drivers' Championship by a wide margin in the end, with 79 points. They have double points for the final race, by the way. And fastest lap and pole. So Valdez picked up all those points. So a normal haul is 10 for the race win. 20 for the final race double points, and then instead of 1, 2 points for each fastest lap and pole. So big points tally on that final race. And that is going to put Prima over the top. So Prima is coming up to F1 to replace Haas next season. MP Motorsport is going to be going down after scoring 0 points all year long. Who are their drivers? King and Schramm. Schramm's not a bad driver. And in F3, Haverberg picks up the win. Also double points here on the final race. Haverberg got 22 of the 32 points scored all season in that final race to jump to 3rd place. But it's Rapak's driver, Volpini, who gets the win. And, oh my goodness, Arden Racing and Rapak's. I would think Rapak's would get it based, if that's a tiebreak, no? Average race finish? I don't know what the tiebreak would be there. But Arden is the team that's being promoted after Hakkinen and Verline. So our former driver, Verline, 7th in the points there, gets them up a tier. So Lando Norris, 6 race wins, 10 podiums. And they also got the constructors in the 2023 season. Anyway, big email that I'm waiting for, and we'll be checking that here in just a moment. Something that I'm up to. Both my drivers are secured for the next 2 years following this one, so I don't need to worry about anything there regarding them. Sponsors were up, but I think I had 2 sponsorships that just expired, so those will be replaced before long. Staff is 3rd best. Pit crew now 2nd best. I had a big event with the pit crew that got me super excited. If you saw the last episode, drivers are tops. In that car, it's still 9th, but definitely not the sliver like the headquarters was. We were just above that mark, barely better than Haas at the start of the year, and we're still down, but the car has definitely emerged off that bottom row. I'll worry about my pit crew a little bit later, as we don't have any races coming up soon. So here we go. Newgarden, pole position, Newgarden, car condition update. Okay, we got an interview. After his win today, we were wondering your thoughts on Stoffel Van Dorn. Do you have working with him in the future? No, but we'll say that because it adds the trait of he would work with us. He's a little bit short of where my drivers are, but never hurts to have that if I suddenly lose a driver for some reason. We broke our previous pit stop record, and that largely came down to this wonderful thing here. We improved our pit crew status by +1, and I had all 19s and 20s for the jack or for the tires, and so with a +1, they all became 20s, and I love that. I love that so much. Basically, this guy would be a 20 because I have a +4 attribute, so this would be a +18. I'm not taking any of these guys. If he was a 100, I would take him. But he's not. He comes with a mistake chance because his best stamina is 85. So I don't know how it works, but I think if he comes to us, he would be an 89. Okay. On to the mail. Hard-fought win for Van Dorn. And oh, we still haven't gotten to it. This is what it is, though. This is what it has to do with. So we only have one person with a contract that's running out. Our lead designer, Ivy Gurney. Not bad. She's not bad. She's 4 stars. And her pay isn't too bad. But I know it would go up a lot. Here's the thing. This contract was signed before we were in Formula One. It was bumped up when we joined Formula One, but not substantially. So if I go to re-sign her, it's expensive. She's still got a month left. And in the meantime, I'm up to something. I'm up to this. James Key. Now, it's quite a bit more than what Ivy Gurney is making. But $300,000 a race? If he takes that, $300,000 a race, he is 5 stars, nothing but 20s. Nothing but 20s. All 20s. That would really help our car development if I can get an amazing lead designer like James Key, who is interested because A, I'm in Formula One, but B, because he has no job. So I don't have to pay anybody off to get him either. And I'm expecting the response today to the initial contract offer. And I gave him a pretty good offer. The only thing that I didn't max out was the contract itself, the terms of the race-by-race contract. And it is down a little bit, so he might say no, but I'd be happy to up that. So, okay, let's see here. I want to make sure. Look how much better our engine is already. We're still 10th, but oh my goodness. I can't do anything until that's done, so I suppose I better wait. We did finish the last engine. I'm not building another one. There's not enough time for it. And no changes to happen here. We've got a balance of $39 million right now, and I want to save that for next year's car. And so here we go. We're the final 2 days as things wrap up. Contract renegotiation, but at least he didn't just suddenly deny us. He is insulted by that. He's he's neutral on the contract length. So I thought he might be a negative on that. He's not. So I got 3 pluses and 1 big negative. So he definitely needs to come up a bit. What was the max? Max was 592. I know I could sign him for this based on all of this. He's got to be close. If I go down to this, how much higher was that then? The 434 is what we offered. That's +2. That's splitting the middle. That's dangerous because he might not sign. If I do this, I know he'll sign. I'm pretty sure he'll sign anyway. This one, I feel like it could still be almost 50-50, but that's another 100,000 a race. And I could always re-sign Gurney, who's definitely not bad at her job. So I'll take that risk. And let's see. Push forward just that little bit. Car repair complete. Ooh, Charles Leclerc wants to move away from Scuderia Ferrari. We finished repairing both cars. Let's take a look at that. What can we do here in the final moments? Make sure I am full 30 on improving parts. There are 2 engines to try to up. So those are the only 4 parts that aren't maxed out that are at the top end of the spectrum. So I'll just set that and we'll have at it. Get what can be done. Okay, this is what I was looking forward to. because I don't know how much it's going to be, because I'm in my first season in Formula One. So what is the payout? $38.5 million. Not bad. I don't know what the difference between 8th and 7th is, though. That's the only reason why I wanted 7th, was because I knew the payout would be a little bit higher. But $38 million is certainly good. That's $77 million to work with. We're going to put in everything that we can into next year's car. I want the best car possible next year, so we can start performing a bit higher and move up the ranks. Then from there, we'll turn our attention to doing what we can in regards to headquarters and start improving things there. Manager of the season, it is Claire Williams of Williams F1 Racing. Got manager of the season. Williams did a fine job. And what was that, 5th place? Driver of the season, Sergio Perez of Red Bull Racing. A little surprised by that, because he's in a really good car, and he had some good races, but I didn't think he was necessarily doing anything. Ooh, Frank Williams has retired after his daughter Claire has claimed manager of the season. In game, he's 81 now, so he's definitely up there. All right, new rules. One of these I hate, one of these I love. The one that I hate is the removal of the Singapore Grand Prix. I know that there are actually people who are not fans of that race. I've heard those gripes. I don't agree with them. I'm actually a very big fan of that race. It's a little bit there's a little bit of bias in that my sister-in-law lived there for quite a few years until actually just until a year ago. But that's like 5% of it. So I do. It's such a beautiful city, and I don't mind the street courses. The road courses are just fine by me. So I'm very sad to see that one go off the calendar. Nothing replacing it, so we're going to be down to 18 races next season. I would love to see one of the doubles. We've got 2 Germanys, but same track, because I know real life there's 2 Germanys, but different tracks, though, of course, there's been issues with one of those the last couple seasons, so they've only had the one every other year instead of alternating years. But the double Brazil 2 weeks in a row, make one of those go away, not Singapore. But the good rule, qualifying base grids with 3 sessions, so real F1 qualifying. Promotions, relegations, we've already gone over that. Prima coming up, Haas going down. Arden is coming up, and NP Motorsport is going down. Down with them. Alright, this is the big one. This is the big one. Pause. Okay, sponsors. Gata. I don't know who that is. Carla Gata. What is her deal? I don't know what. Argentine driver. I don't know if she's their 3rd driver. Okay, here we go. Come on. Sign it. No! He didn't sign it. Damn it. Renew contract. Hold on. Let's first look and see, though. Is there anyone else? Dang you, sir. Dang you. He really wanted max contract. And these guys would all be costly. This is not bad, actually. But your wages are quite high, so I would rather have somebody on lower wages, like this Spanish lady here. But these guys are the best, so maybe I try one of them first. That's expensive to break, though. This is not as bad. So, will you... No. And that's the problem, is our profile's not quite big enough. The only reason why he was willing to meet with us was because he doesn't have a job. And you're not going to meet with me now. In fact, you won't even let me even attempt to approach you. What's your cost to break? Not too bad. And your cost isn't that high at the moment. Aha. Okay, what do we have? Wow, look at that. That's the bottom end. What is the top end? Oh, look how much better that is. Oh my goodness. I don't mind paying all the way up. You want me to pay it all? Okay, that's not even that much. This looks like it's not going to be that much. Bonus size is important. Okay, we've got our guy. Because I'm literally just maxing out everything. Why don't we go one below? Now this is much less than what we were going to pay the other guy, and the only thing here is we've gone 36 instead of 24 months. But agreeing and maxing everything else and being one off the top here, there's no way he's going to say no to that. So I'm sorry, Miss Gurney, but you are going to get replaced. Nearly perfect, yes. Look at that. And our wings are already our best items, and everything else is 19 or 20, and those are 18s anyway, so we'll see quality improvement in parts. We'll improve the car faster. 93 days till Australia, and they already know that it's going to rain that day. Preseason. This is that big part. We're not going to get all the way to Australia. That's too much time to pass on the calendar to get there, but we can establish what we're going to put into the car. So, Toro Rosso. Oh man, really? There he is. James Key signed with Toro Rosso instead of us. I'm actually really curious what he signed for, and we'll be super ticked off. I'm going to have to go forward a tick to see what he has. So we're going to develop the chassis for the next year. Ah, nice. There's another 20 million that we put away. I went for the Mr. Money bags, so look at that. 97.7 million. This is absolutely going to be very strong. We have very strong, and we can go base stat modifier. That's a lot of money. Let's start with the other stuff. Now, here's my thing that I did this last year, and I think it was Electrify that I went with. Start low, but have really good harvest efficiency, so you can use the ERS throughout. That starting charge, that's one use or two uses. This gets you multiple uses throughout the race. So I much prefer that for your battery supplier. Brake supplier, very strong. These are all very strong. All of them. But is there actually... Ooh, okay. Can I unselect? No. For now, let's set the 6 million option. We'll see. There was no difference. These are all very strong as well. But you can see they don't actually... There's higher improvability, right? And higher fuel efficiency there. This one has definitely higher fuel efficiency, but not the improvability necessarily. That's the highest improvability, but not the best fuel efficiency. These two are the best fuel efficiency and improvability combination is right here. Yes. And finally, and where we at 24 million. So yes, we can afford to spend. Last year, I think we went with something along these lines. But look at that. Without spending 30 million, I can get us pretty much all the way. And the rear package, look at that, 5 stars everywhere. On the Renault. So that's the Mercedes engine, Ferrari engine, that is the Honda engine, the Renault engine, and I have no idea what engine that is, but so without having to spend another $13.5 million, so saving that money, that gives us $57 million, which is plenty to invest something headquarters wise. So there you go. Much better chassis than a year ago, as it is all 5 stars now. And we were well short of that last year, as we were a bit strapped for cash. Okay, contract renegotiation, really? Really? Okay, a new lead designer, Tom Gurman. Renault, new driver, Sanchez. Okay. Really? Unhappy. That's max. That's as high as it goes. So, yeah. Doesn't get any higher than that. So you better accept it. Because literally the only other thing that could be any bit more favorable is if I cut the contract length to 2 years. But I want you for 3. And you're neutral on that, so I hope you accept. There we go. Offer accepted. Offer accepted. Sorry, Ivy. Goodbye. It's going to cost us a bit, but an expense that I feel is worth it. Alright, looking back at the top here, we now have the #1 staff in all of Formula One. We've got the #2 pit crew. We've got the best drivers. Oh, look at that. The car continues to improve. 7th best now. That improved chassis, got to be making a difference. We've got that great lead designer now. So, yes, we are very much going to hit that midfield this season. I love what Force India was able to do last year, as they were 6th in the standings, despite now having the 9th best car. They were the 8th best car. Prima, at the moment at least, is at the bottom. Of course, this does change at the end of the preseason testing. A bunch of people's contracts just ended. Tire simulations, tire wear. That's costly, and we're already at 5 stars, but I don't know if it makes an impact. That's the confusing thing. I don't know if that actually goes up or not, and that's a waste of money if it doesn't go up. But I don't know the mechanics of that. I don't know if it goes over 5. So bye-bye money. If you have an impact, that's great. If not, dang it, bye-bye money. Alright, so time is flying. Time is flying. We're also out of time here, though. So taking a quick glance, again, the car seems to be on the up. Marketability 91%. This one's ready. Fixed pay per race without any positional requirements. That's a long time. But that fixed pay per race, let's take it. That one's still only 2 offers. Press headquarters visit. You're going to ask something bad though. Team marketability, golden hair to morale, or team marketability. Oh, minus 10. Well, okay, bye-bye morale. Even though I don't think that could go up at all because it was already 100%. But his morale can come back. Okay, livery edit. Chance to change our look for the year. That's going to take a while, and I don't know if I want to change it yet or not. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take a look at team and see. We are now up to 4 stars, so we are really coming along in that. And let's see how the rest are looking. Force India also 4 stars. McLaren 4.25. Mercedes 4.5. And just see how dominant they are. We're above Prima, who's 3.75. Red Bull is 4.25. We're now level with Renault, who's 4. Ferrari is 4.25. Toro Rosso is 4. And Williams is 4.25. And that's F2. So we've definitely moved into that midfield range. We were at 3.75 not so long ago. So and marketability is, wow, Renault is 10% on marketability. They've got like no sponsors. Red Bull's good. McLaren's only 58%. Force India is 71%. So we actually have the highest marketability. No wonder I keep getting decent sponsors, even though we don't have the headquarters to go with it. That and the car are the 2 things that need to come along. But there you go. There you have it. The season has come to an end. I'm going to finish getting set up for next season. And in the next episode, we'll get a new season underway. Our second at the Formula 1 level. And hopefully, we'll be in a much more competitive place this season. More regularly getting into the points and not it being kind of a fluke from time to time. But that's going to do it for this episode on Decathlon Gamer. Remember, I'm aiming for the best of the best. So if you're ready to join me on my journey, hit subscribe and tune in next time on my Road to the Record. Bye for now.